What's up, guys? Your boy Darth Cane coming to you with a limited leader tier list as we try to push more content to you guys. I know life's gotten in our way. I'm sure life has been kind of hectic for some of you guys out there as well. But we're going to try to do more videos, different content than we've done in the past. I've wanted to do one of these leader tier lists for a while. I enjoy these videos. I know some people are just like, but we'll definitely keep this one short. It'll be nice and digestible, hopefully less than 15 minutes. We'll run through each of these quickly. Bear with me, though. This is my first time doing it, so I'm sure I'll learn from this time, and we'll get more prepared the next time, better quality. But hopefully you guys enjoy this, and you have a great 4th of July weekend. It's going to be a great time to celebrate not only the new set, but a lot with friends, fireworks, all those type of things that we do here in the U.S. To celebrate our independence. So hopefully you guys get to enjoy not only this new set, but that as well, and you get to spend time with a lot of friends and family. All right, let's jump into it. First one is going to be Kylo Ren. He's a 7 cost, 5/5 Sentinel. Allows you to throw a whole bunch of upgrades on him when he flips. However, you do have to pay the cost, so you have to keep that in mind. His leader ability does let you set it up, but in limited, I think that's going to be few and far between. So you may get like 1 or 2 upgrades to go on him. Is that enough to push him over the top? I don't know. I think it's got to be a pretty select card pool to kind of do it. Probably not one you're going to get in sealed, maybe in draft, but you're probably going to have to force it in draft. I'm skeptical of Kylo in a limited sense. I'm assured by a couple other people who have been playing him over since the full set's been released that he has some play in Premier style. Whether it's competitor or not, that's kind of still to be seen. However, this is a very ground-focused set, so having that Sentinel just flip on will at 7, it's could get there if you have the right card pool and the game's a little bit slower. I would tend towards let's just throw him maybe at the bottom of B for right now, and then we'll take a look at him, maybe drop him down to C. Bottom B, top C, that's where I'm going to have him. Mother Townsend, on the other hand, I'm just going to go ahead and throw her up there. She's S tier for me. There's very limited removal here. She flips as a 3/7, and she's giving people -1 on her leader side. She does that with the Force, so you do have to keep that in mind. You need to stack Force units in here. If you don't have Force units, you could be at a detriment, and you might just be forcing Townsend at that point. A lot of the blue villain cards go right along with Townsend, whether it's Townsend's Assassin, Old Daka. If you get those two, you should definitely try and run Townsend. I do like her in red, but green as well. Both are pretty good colors for her. And like I said, she's going to flip on 5 and just push damage. That's really what we're looking for a lot in limited, is pushing damage early. She helps with the lack of removal in this set of just being removal herself, along with Townsend's Assassin, given the -3/-3. That's probably going to be one of your better bets there. But she's going to be good. If you're looking for villain leader, I'm going to say in a limited sense, especially in draft, it's going to be real good. Sealed, you do still kind of have to have the card pool, but that card pool is not hard to find. All right, moving on to our hero leaders in Vigilance. All right, you've got a 6 cost Ahsoka coming out as a 5/6 on attack. Name a unit. It now has Sentinel. On her leader side, same thing. Use the Force, tap her, give a unit Sentinel. The easy comparison here is Grievous, but Grievous never really saw play a lot. His ability actually I think is better in the sense, especially in limited for that set. There was a lot of droids. It was at will. Hers, you've got to go through a bunch of hoops. You're not going to be able to turn it on until at least turn 3, really, because if you turn it on turn 2, it's a waste. And then you're going to have to attack to get it back. So there's a lot of hoops. I Don't really like her that much, but she does come out. Once she comes out and flips with a 5 attack, it's much better, and she can do it at will. Again, bottom B. I probably maybe want her over Kylo, but I think they're in the same boat there. Kanan, I think you're going to have a really good card. Kanan's hard because if you have the card pool, and I put him above both Ahsoka and Kylo here, because if you have the card pool, anyway, we're going to put him in B. To me, he's above Ahsoka. I don't know why it won't let me switch it around. But he can come out and hit for a lot. He's going to be shielded. I think you just need the right card pool, and you might have to force it a bit, especially in sealed. In draft, it's going to be better. It could do some damage, but it's going to have that right card pool. Our villainy command leaders, Morgan Elsbeth. She does come out at 5 for 3-6 though. It's just not gonna do it. Maybe if it was a 4-6, you're gonna be better off. We'll say, like this one, you absolutely have to have the right card pool. It's not gonna happen most likely in limited. It's especially not in sealed, maybe in draft. If she had a keyword herself, that would be something to build around, but unfortunately she doesn't. This next leader, Snoke, is probably going... I go back and forth between S tier and A tier here. We'll leave him in A tier just because he does come out in 6. Again, I think if you don't get a lot of green villain leaders, maybe not the best to play. In draft, he's going to be great. I think this set's going to be maybe a little slower. We'll see. You got to see how it plays in limited. We'll see today. But I think you can get Snoke out. I think he's going to be, if you're going to go 6 or a higher leader, go with Snoke. He's going to be great. It comes out, worst case, he comes out and gives himself an experience token and just keeps buffing himself. And like we talked about, very limited removal in this set. It's going to be hard to get rid of him. Almost want to throw him up there in S tier as well, but we'll leave him in A tier for now. Over to our heroes. Avar Chris. Can hit for a lot, that's for sure. I don't know that I'm very down on the Force payoff here. As if you've listened to our last 2 videos, I'm kind of skeptical that the Force is going to have a huge impact. Maybe if they carry it into Secrets of Power, we'll get some better payoff. But as it's constructed now, I don't really see, like, you have to really build around this leader, and I don't know that you can do that in a limited sense. If you can, and you have a common base, she's going to hit for 8. But I think best case, she's probably going to, in a limited sense, come out at 8. And that's just going to be way too late and limited. It's going to be the same problems we have with Kylo. Just coming out way, way too late. All right. Our next star, Obi-Wan. I mean, what can you say? It doesn't really cost you anything other than the Force. You're going to have a lot of Force units. It's in green hero, which seems to have a bunch of support. Also, blue hero. If you get the right cards, I mean, you could just be stacking this. I like it with Ezra. I even like playing Doom here at 6 in a blue-green shell with this. Just stacking experience. One card I'd look out for is the Paladin Training Corvette, the one that basically on Obi's flip turn, you could flip him out. Hopefully you have 2 units. You probably will, since it's not a lot of removal, that already have experience on them. You play the Paladin. It now gives all 3 of the experience to those Force units that you already have on the board. And then when Obi attacks, he gives an experience back to the Paladin Training Corvette. Going to be very good and limited if you can get those 2 cards together. I don't see that as being very hard. I think the Paladin Training Corvette's either it's common or at worst uncommon. So should be able to find that combo pretty easily. I like it. He's coming out 5. He's a 3-6, but like we talked about, there's a lot of different ways to get experience. He's putting experience on other things, so other things are going to be threats. Unlike Morgan, I don't think a lot of other things with her are going to be a lot of threatening to your opponent, so they can focus on her. You're going to have a lot of things that your opponent needs to focus on with Obi-Wan if you get the right cards and you play it right. So I'm very high on Obi-Wan, throwing him in S tier. The only limiting factor is if you already have an experience on something, you can't give it another experience. Normally, that would be less of a factor because of more removal, but if your opponent just decides to trade units, that could become a problem with Obi-Wan in the limited sense in this one. But I don't think it's going to be too big of an issue. I'm going either if I'm on hero, I'm going Obi-Wan. If I'm villain, Mother Talzin. I think those are two very good leaders. Darth Maul. He's a 6 cost, 5/6 leader here. Deal 1 damage to a unit, and then deal 1 damage to a different unit. Again, we talked about lack of removal, so dealing damage for free or with the Force, is very good and could maybe get you over the hump and just putting pressure on your opponent. We'll put him in A tier. I'll say he's probably the bottom of A tier, B tier. But hey, if you're in your pre-release, you're gonna get them. If you're playing limited otherwise, you're gonna have to find a showcase. So good luck. Outside of that, I think he's pretty decent if you're looking at your pre-release kit. The one thing you do have to recognize, if they don't have 2 units on the board, you are gonna have to deal 1 damage to one of yours. Now, if there's only 1 unit on the board, I guess you're just dealing 1 damage, which is fine. But just keep that in mind when you're playing. It's not May to the second unit, so got to do both of them. All right, Third Sister. This I am really high on. Luckily it slotted it right up there. I'd put her top of A tier. Again, we talked about you're going to want to push damage in limited quickly. Her ability with hidden on her leader side, you just play a card from your hand, it gets hidden. Fantastic. That's going to allow you to attack with them next turn. She gets hidden herself, comes out, hits for 5 on 5. Great stats there. You're not going to be able to attack her. If you get a lightsaber or anything to put on her, I mean, she is going to just be a bomb. I would look for Inquisitor's lightsaber to put on her. That way, she's just going to just start wrecking things. I would definitely, you know what? I'm going to move her to S tier. For limited, S tier, just pumping out damage. I would not feel bad if I had to play her in a limited sense. It's going to be a lot of good damage coming out. So moving right along, let's go to our hero leaders. Rey, just not playable. I don't think it's playable. Yeah, she's going to come out and hit for 6. She's not doing anything when she comes out, though. Her leader side ability, I just don't think it's going to really help you. Yeah, you can deal 1 damage if you played a non unit force card. I don't know how many of those there are in this set. And then you're going to have to play them in limited. You're going to be wanting to play a lot more units. I wouldn't even bother with Rey. I mean, if you have to, just because you have this fantastic card pool in Red Hero, go for it. But you're better off doing a lot of other things. Kit Fisto, I keep going back and forth on him, whether he's better or worse. His flip side is definitely not great. But if his, unit side, if you're just going to push damage, now granted, it's to a unit, so, and you have to have a Jedi unit. Ooh, I keep going back and forth. It's always good to push damage in limited. He's going to come out as a 1/6, maybe a 2/6. I'm not very high on him. I when I was hearing originally, I thought it was more like, hey, you're gonna get a daring raid. If you could push it to base, it'd be great. But because you can only push it to a unit, it may come over with some of the other removal. Again, if we talked about like with Ray, if you have a great just hero red card pool, go with Kit Fisto over Ray any day of the week. Cunning villainy leaders. I don't think Varys is very playable in limited. You're not gonna have a lot of so she a 6 cost 4/7 action. Use the force. Play a event for a cost 1 less. You're not gonna want to play a lot of events in limited. It's a lot more unit focused. It's the payoff's not gonna be great. Maybe there's a few. I mean, she does have good stats, so let's maybe throw her in B. She's going to stick around, and maybe there's some high-end payoff event you have to play, but her ability is really not giving you much. Again, I think it's one of those, if you have a great card pool for Cunning Villainy, throw her out there. However, you may just want to throw Grand Inquisitor. He's a 3/5 shielded on attack -2 for the defender. I know a lot of people are down on him. I actually kind of like him. Again, you're going to get 2 attacks because he's shielded. Maybe even more if people don't go after him. So, it's not bad. He's could be worse. I think there's definitely a lot of worse leaders in this thing for limited. It's not great, but it's a good fallback plan. All right, Cal Kestis. I'm very down on Cal. I'm not gonna lie. I don't like the exhausted unit thing. I think it's a terrible mechanic for a leader. I don't think they really shine, especially in a limited format where it's not doing much for you. It's just delaying the inevitable. A 3/4. There's a lot of things here that are just gonna come and smack it right off the board. I mean, the neutral green Terran attack, if your opponent has a force unit that gains ambush, that's going to happen all the time. There's going to be a lot of people playing green, and it's just going to come in as a 5/5 and just smack Cal off the board. Like, that's going to be very, feels bad. Hey, I got 1 attack in. Oh, I exhausted a unit, but they came in and just smacked me the next turn. All right. Qui-Gon. I'm very interested in Qui-Gon. Good stats. I don't know how his ability is going to play out, especially in a limited sealed pool. You're only going to get him in pre-release unless you get that showcase just like Maul. Maybe hard to build around. Not sure. May try to do it today. We'll see. Definitely try it one time. But I don't know how it's going to go. We'll put him in B. I think it's just the stats alone. I think if you can get him in draft as a showcase, maybe there's some potential there. I think it's going to be hard and sealed. But, hey, that's where we're at. All right, we're going to finish up real quick with our last 2 leaders. I don't like Anakin. At least he comes out as a 4/6. But you are going to have only 1 aspect. It's not always terrible and limited because sometimes you just get slammed with. I know there's been multiple times where I've just gotten half of my cards are all red. And then I get a bunch of the actual like hero and neutral, and then you can fill it out. So I don't think it's obviously going to be card pool dependent, but it's not terrible. That's not terrible. He comes out at 5, 4/6, good stats. You are going to be limited to just 1 aspect, though. All right, Darth Revan, 5 cost, 3/6. When a friendly unit attacks and defeats a unit, you may exhaust this leader. If you do, give an experience token to that unit. I mean, the ability's not limited to like Anakin's, where you have to have events that are or upgrades, I guess, that are non or villainy. And you also get a restorer on the flip side. If you're attacking units, you get experience. Same problem though you're gonna have with Anakin. We'll put him down in the C tier, but with some high upside if you can get cards. If you get all one set of cards, I think you maybe force it in draft. I think there's a lot of options there, and restore is going to be really nice when you have 28 health, and now you're maximizing that up. If you can even get 3 attacks off, now you're looking at effectively 31 health on your base, where your opponent's got to play 28. That's going to be a hard difference to make up. Again, we talked not a lot of removal, so a lot of units trading with other units. If you can get an experience to them, get them another attack, might be the difference. But we're going to leave them at C just because of the one aspect for now. We'll see how it plays out. I'm really interested. I would say high upside there. But, yeah, that's kind of where we're at with it. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Hopefully it's not too long of a video. I rolled through some of that really quick. I'm kind of headed out the door to go to a pre-release right now. And we are getting ready to open some packs. I'm really excited. So hope you guys enjoy it. Hope to see more content coming out. Let us know if you like it. Want to change it up. Again, bear with us. This is the first time doing it. It'll get better the next time, I promise. See you guys. Darth Cane out. What's up, guys? I want to provide a little bit of update after the pre-releases yesterday. I went a total of 6-2 with Third Sister, both in green and blue. Overall, I went 10-2 in games. So I won the first pre-release. Didn't do so well in the second. Third Sister's definitely great for limited. I'm so glad we put her in S tier because she definitely belongs there. One thing I would change, Kit Fisto, probably move him back up to B. While the leader flip side wasn't great for a couple times I played against them, the damage comes in clutch every so often, so keep that in mind. I think there's definitely a pool for Red Jedi, so hope you guys have fun at your pre-releases. See ya.